I know. Living life based on vibes is fun and all, but it's not sustainable, babes. 2024 is the year we get our money right, and here's how you can do it. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Reni. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today we are here with a brand new video talking about 8 ways to make 2024 your wealthiest year yet. And I want you to know that I see these videos often, but these are practical tips to help you actually implement them today if you want to. Make sure that you stick around and give this video a like if you like this kind of content. A lot of us are confused about how to manage our money, where the best place to keep our money is, and overall just how to get good with our money. In 2024, I have been coaching a lot of people one-on-one. So far in 2024, I have coached over 100 people, and I have learned a lot from those interactions. And I thought I would bring some of those learnings over to all of you. Step 1, I want you to reflect on 2023. I know this seems all woo-woo and you don't want to do some reflective exercises and journaling, but it's actually important. So I want you to reflect on your financial wins from 2023 and your financial losses from 2023. What worked? What didn't? Did you hit your savings goals, or did some unexpected expenses come along and trample all of your savings goals? The reason this is so important is because understanding where you currently are and where you were last year can set the foundation of a solid game plan going forward. So what we're going to do is we are going to walk through some prompts together. I would ideally love if you would pause after each prompt that I say, and then you write it out and actually reflect. So this video may take you an hour to get through, but I think it would be really helpful if you actually stop after every question that I ask and write out what your thoughts are on each. So let's start with the first question. The first question is, how does money feel for me right now? For some people, money feels overwhelming. For some people, money feels like safety. For some people, money feels stressful. For some people, they have neutral feelings and it just feels like a tool to help them get what they want. Some people feel like money is the best thing ever and it excites them. Whatever your feeling is about money, it's important to identify what your current relationship with money is. If we have, let's say, a negative relationship with money, the only way that we can actually unlearn that negative relationship is if we address it and if we realize that we currently do have a negative relationship with money. For example, some people feel very overwhelmed with money. And now that they've identified that money is overwhelming for them, then they can say, okay, why does it overwhelm me? What part of it overwhelms me? For a lot of people, it is because they don't track their spending and they're like, I have no idea where my money is. I wonder why I never have money at the end of the month. And because of that, now that they can identify that, they say, okay, the tactic in order to solve that would be to try to track my spending. So again, you look at what the issue is you're currently facing, and then you work backwards so you can figure out the tactics to help you solve that issue. Question number 2. What is motivating me to get better with money? I think this is a really important question just so that you can understand your why. A lot of people don't have a why behind what they're doing. And when you don't have a why, it's actually hard to sustain it. So maybe your why is that I am ready to start adulting. I'm ready to get serious about my life. And I'm ready to, let's say you want to buy a house in the next 4 years. So you have to be serious about it. That will give you a motivator behind why you are doing what you're doing and allow you to keep doing it for the long term. For some people, they're like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and I am ready to get serious. That is another example of your why. For some people, it's like, I have seen generational debt in my family and I want to be the one who breaks the curse and has generational wealth. So think of what your why is so that you can actually make sure that you are sticking to it and for the long term, you are able to sustain it. Next question is, what are some roadblocks that I faced with my money in 2023? 2023 was a hard year for many people. Some people lost their jobs. Some people had unexpected emergencies that came up. So there are a lot of things that just came up and popped up in our lives. And it's important to acknowledge those things because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't reach my financial goals. But they forget that so many things happened to them last year, and that is one of the reasons that contributed to it and did not allow them to reach their financial goals. So I encourage you to just think of what are the things that I faced last year that may have impacted the goals that I had. And also it may allow you to prepare for them going forward. So I know some people, let's say you lost your job last year and it was a hard year for you. and you did not have any emergency fund, so it caused you to go into debt last year. This year, you can be like, okay, I never want this to happen. I now have a job. I never want that to happen again where I'm left unprepared. So now I'm gonna have one of my goals for the year to have an emergency fund. So that's an example of taking what happened in the past and not letting it paralyze you, but instead let it motivate you to do better for 2024. Next question, what are some successes that I had with money in 2023? Again, we acknowledge the bad, but it's also really important to acknowledge the good. So let's say last year was the first time that you actually saved some money. That is a win. Whether it was $5 or $5,000, you saved money for the first time in your life, and now you can get better and better and better from there. Or let's say another one was that you invested money in the stock market for the first time. Celebrate that. Even if you weren't consistent throughout the entire year, it's still a step that you took in the right direction, but I think it is something worth celebrating. So I encourage you to reflect on your wins for the year. The last question that I want you to reflect on is, what habits do I want to leave in 2023? And also, what habits do I want to take with me into 2024? This is important because sometimes we have habits that are holding us back, but until we recognize those habits and, leave them to the side, that's the only way we can actually move forward into 2024 on the right foot. So maybe you develop the habit of, instead of cooking, sometimes you order Uber Eats all the time. That's an example of a habit that may not be serving your financial goals. And you say you want to break that habit in 2024. So again, it's all about acknowledging what went wrong, what did not serve you, and what you are going to leave in the past. And then again, on the other hand, what went well? Sometimes you built the habit of, let's say you built the habit of automating your savings where every single paycheck, a little bit of money went into your new account, your savings account. That's an example of something that you want to bring into 2024. So those are the questions that I want you to first reflect on for the year. And now we're gonna go into step 2 for making 2024 your best year yet financially. Step number 2 is to forgive yourself. Again, I know it sounds woo now, but we're gonna get into the actual practical things. But step 2, forgive yourself. I find that a lot of people feel a lot of shame about finances and something that may have happened, for example, getting into debt. And because of that, they do not try anymore to get better because they're so stuck in that shame. Honestly, I'm giving you permission, although you don't know me, but I'm giving you permission to forgive yourself for whatever happened in the past. It happened, it's done. Shame is a wasted emotion. It actually doesn't serve us anymore. So I want you to leave it, okay? Throw it in the trash, and we are gonna start on a brand new slate starting right now. I'm also gonna leave a video in the description box of this amazing video on shame and how shame, it's a 2-minute video, so check it out, but it talks about how shame does not serve us, especially when we are trying to get better with our finances. So watch that video because I think it will be really helpful to help you forgive yourself. Step number 3, and this is one of the most important steps, is that I want you to create or to update your budget. I have spoken about budgeting or tracking your spending time and time again on my Instagram page, but I really haven't made a detailed YouTube video about it. So if you want me to make a detailed YouTube video about it, let me know. You can just leave a comment down below and I can make that video. But budgeting and the act of budgeting is essentially to track your spending. I truly think that tracking your spending is one of the best things that you can do for your money. It's not something you have to do every single month, but especially if you are just starting and trying to get better with your finances, it's a really important step to help you actually see where your money is going. A lot of people think of budgeting as something that is super restrictive and like, oh, I don't want to only spend $500 on this or $200 on this. I don't want to be limited. But I will say that budgeting has honestly been one of the most freeing things for me because since I know where my money is going, I have the opportunity to change it or to not change it if I don't want to, but at least I have that awareness of where my money is going every month. So if you don't know, a budget is essentially a planner where you are seeing your fixed expenses, your income, your variable expenses, your investments, and your savings all at once in one spreadsheet. So there are different ways to budget. Again, if you want a full video on budgeting, I can do this, but you can do it through an app or you can do it manually, and I really like to do it manually. So here's one that I will show you on my screen. Here you can see that there is a section for income where I report all the different streams of income that I have. There's also a section for saving where you save if you save $200 a month, then you will add $200 here, for example. We also have a section for essential expenses. So how much you spend on your mortgage, how much you spend on your phone bill, all the things that pop up on a monthly basis, you're going to add them into your essential expenses section. We also have other sections that you see below, and you can customize your budget based on you as a person, because obviously you know best and you know what you spend money on a monthly basis. So I think if you already have a budget, then just update the current budget you have with how your spending is now. And if you do not yet have a budget, download a budget tracker. I will leave a few links for different ones in my description box, and just download one so that you can start tracking your spending. I know it seems overwhelming at first, but if you can go through the past 3 months of your spending and just see where I spent money in each category and put that into your budget, it will allow you to see where you are spending money. I will say that a lot of people think they're spending like $400 on food each month, but then when you start tracking your spending, you see you're actually spending $700. So it's a good way to get some awareness about what's going on in your finances, and then only at that point can you actually change what you are spending money on. Step 4 is to do a review of your savings. A lot of people have money in different places, at different banks. Some people have money under their bed. They have money all over. And I think it makes it a little confusing to know how much we truly have. So what I would like you to do is to look at all the different accounts that you have. So you have a Neo Financial account, you have a Simply account, you have an EQ Bank account. Look at how much you have in each of those accounts. And we're also going to identify what the purpose of this money is. So let's say that you have $1,000 in a Neo Financial account, you have $1,000 in an EQ Bank account, and you have $1,000 in your Simply Financial account. What are you doing with that money? Is there a specific purpose for each dollar? I like to assign a purpose to each dollar that I have, because I feel like it allows me to actually save towards my goals effectively. When you have all your money in different places and you don't know what the purpose is for each account, it can be a little confusing. So let's say $1,000 is for your emergency fund, $1,000 is for your travel fund, and $1,000 is for your house fund. Now you have a purpose for your money, and it allows it to be harder to spend on other random things that don't serve that purpose. And second of all, it allows you to track your goals effectively, because now if you know, oh, I only have $1,000 in my emergency fund, but I want to have an emergency fund that's $5,000, now you can actively put money towards that and set clear goals. So now that you've determined a purpose for all of that money, I don't know exactly what you're going to be saving for, but one thing that I think you need to save for is an emergency fund. And I do have a detailed video about it. I will leave it up here and in the description box below. But an emergency fund is crucial, and it's basically 3 to 6 months of your living expenses that you keep in a savings account. So make sure that you start an emergency fund if you do not yet have one, because it's very important, especially with the way the economy is economying right now. We don't know about job security, so it's very important to have some funds tucked away for emergencies. Step 5 is to do a debt checkup. I know that we may have debts, we may have line of credit that's outstanding, we may have credit cards that we have a balance on, we may have payday loans. There may be a bunch of different debt that's all around, and a lot of people feel shame about this, and then they don't tackle their debts. So today, you're gonna pause this video, and then you're actually going to look at all the debt that you currently have. And what I would love you to do is to write out the balance that you have on each outstanding debt, the interest rate on each outstanding debt, and also the minimum payment that you have on each outstanding debt. Then and only then can you actually tackle this debt. Some people will think that they have $5,000 debt, but when they have calculated it all, they have closer to $7,000. And this gives you an awareness of, for your goals, how you can actually pay it off. But if you just think you have $5,000, then the plan that you create will not actually be effective. And then you'll feel like, oh, why can't I reach my financial goals? It's because you don't have awareness of what you are actually trying to achieve. So my suggestion for you would be to write it all out, do it by hand or do it on your computer, and see how much debt you have so you can actually tackle it. If you want a full video about my best strategies to tackle debt, let me know. I feel like now I'm a pro at this, okay? I have learned a lot from my one-on-ones with people, so now I can confidently make a video about how you can tackle paying off your debt. Step 6 is to check your credit report. A lot of us have no idea what our credit score is. Let me know in the comment section, do you know what your credit score is? The reality is the majority of us have no idea. And if you don't know what a credit score is, this is basically your financial footprint or your financial report card that we have here in Canada, the US, and other Western countries. They have this. So in Canada, it's really important because your credit score impacts if you can get a car loan or a mortgage or even to rent a place, and it will impact what the interest rate is that people are charging you. So because of this, we want to have the highest credit score possible. Again, if you want a video on this, I can make a whole video, but I won't be able to get into depth about it in this video. But to check your credit reports, you can just go online and you can use Borrowell or Credit Karma. I'll leave some links to them in the description box as well. And you're going to enter all of your details there. When you enter your details, it will prompt you and ask you a few questions, and then it will spit out what your credit report is. You can actually do it on both because there are different credit bureaus in Canada, but essentially you're gonna go there, see what your credit score is, and again, only once you know what your credit score is can you actually improve it going forward. Let's say your credit score is 600. Now that you know that it's 600, you can make a plan to improve it and get to that 700 range. Next year, maybe you go from 700 to 800 and you keep increasing so that you are able to get the best deal possible whenever you're looking for a mortgage or a car loan. Your credit score is not the reason that you're not able to do those. Also, you may see on your credit report that there are things that you don't recognize there, so it's really important to report those if you see anything there that you did not put there. Okay, now let's get into the next one. Number 7, set clear financial goals. Now that we have all our prep work done, now and only now can we set some clear financial goals for the year. What do you want to achieve financially in 2024? Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to save for your wedding? What are your goals? And now we're going to put them down and be specific with them. I need you to get specific with your goals. Instead of just saying, I want to save a lot of money this year, I want you to get detailed, okay? Instead, you're gonna say, I want to save $5,000 in my EQ Bank high interest savings account. And to do this, I'm going to put away $192 bi-weekly every time I get paid into this account. And to take it a step further, I'm going to automate it. This is the level of detail that I would like from you so that you can see if it's actually something that's achievable. Some of us say, okay, I'm gonna put away $5,000. What are your expenses every month? If your expenses are too high to justify saving $5,000, you may have to save $3,000 instead so that you can actually make something that is sustainable and achievable. Here are some of the goals that I have for 2024, and I'll read them out to you. So I plan to invest about $24,000 in 2024. And to do that, I am putting $8,000 away into my first home savings account. I have a video on this if you would like to watch about the first home savings account. And this is about $665 a month because I want to max this account, and $8,000 is the limit that we have for this year. I'm going to transfer $665 per month, and this is an automated payment that comes out of my paycheck and goes directly into my investment account that I have, and it's an FHSA. The next goal is that I want to put away $6,000 into my registered retirement savings plan. To do this, I will be putting away $500 per month, and again, this is an auto transfer that automatically comes out and goes into that account. And the reason is that I want to retire one day early, ideally. So I'm trying to put as much money into my RRSP as possible. My next goal is that I want to put $10,000 away into my TFSA. And to do this, I'm breaking out into bi-weekly payments of $400. So $400 every 2 weeks will be going into my TD Direct Investing account for my TFSA. And I will be buying ETFs and tech stocks with this money. So here you can see how detailed my goals are. I didn't just put a large number. I broke it down into individual categories, even the account that I'm going to put it in. And I also said that I am going to automate it, so I take it out from my control and it's all automated. I actually do have a few savings goals. I'll mention 2 of them. So this year, I want to add $3,000 more to my travel fund and $3,000 more to my emergency fund. So to do that, I am putting $250 monthly into both of these accounts. These are also high interest savings accounts, and I have these ones with Simply Financial, and it's automated that it goes from my main checking account directly into my Simply Financial account. And remember, this is the one thing I want you to remember. The goals that you set should be realistic. They should not be aspirational. They should not be something that's not realistic. They should be very realistic. And if, of course, you come into more money, then you increase your goals. But at the baseline, make them realistic so that you can actually achieve them. A lot of people get discouraged that they can't reach their goals, and it's because your goal is a bit unrealistic for your income level and your expenses. So go back to your budget, see how much you're spending each month right now, and can I realistically put away $250 a month with the expenses that I have? If yes, your goal is realistic. If no, then maybe you need to put away $200 or $150 instead. Okay, now let's get on to the last step. Step 8, this is my favorite step, and this is to automate your transfers. So whether your goal is to pay off debt, to invest, to save, or a combination of all three, I want you to automate your transfers into whatever account it is. So with your debt, remember, identify that number that you can transfer monthly and comfortably pay off that debt or invest or save, and then call up your bank or do it online. Most you usually can just do it online. So automate that payment so that whenever you get paid, the money comes out of your checking account and goes directly to whatever goal you have. This is a game changer because as humans, we're going to sometimes be like, oh, I want to spend my money on travel. I want to spend my money on eating out today or Uber Eats or whatever. But if there's no money in the account, what are you spending? So ideally, I would love if you would automate it. I know it can feel a little overwhelming to automate all your payments. So start with one. Start with automating your debt payment or your savings payment or your investment payments. Just start with one of them. And then as you feel more comfortable with the automations coming along, then you will do a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. If you want me to do a video about how to automate your payments, I can do that. I've been getting a few questions about that, so let me know by leaving a comment down below. And there you have it. This is how you can make 2024 your most financially abundant year yet. I want 2024 to be our best year yet, but we need to put it in the work so that our money can now work for us. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you have any ideas for future videos that you want me to do, you can leave that comment down below. Also, if you love your friends or your family or somebody in your life, you should really send them this video because it will help them to get their money on track. And then we can all be wealthy. Wealthy best friends is the best thing ever. So if you enjoyed this video, again, leave a like on this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.